Welcome to episode number 12 of Sales with Value. Today, we're going to talk about a single idea that could be the biggest thing holding you back, or it could be the very key that unlocks everything for you.
Okay, let's really dive into this. A sprained ankle. That's obvious, right? It's physical. You can feel it. You know exactly why you can't run. But small thinking? That's an injury on the inside. You can't see it, but believe me, it hobbles you just the same, keeping you completely stuck.
So let's talk about this invisible anchor. It's this limiting mindset that quietly, almost secretly, just holds you back from everything you're actually capable of achieving. And look, this isn't about a tough market or just bad luck. It's a silent barrier inside your own head you might not even know is there. It's that little voice of doubt, That hesitation before you make a big call, that what if it all goes wrong, that just echoes in your mind, sabotaging you before you even start. So what does this slow thinking actually look like, in the real world? Let's break down the anatomy of it, because once you can spot the symptoms, that's the first step to finding a cure. This is the vicious cycle, isn't it? You see a challenge and you immediately focus on all the reasons it won't work. That just fuels this deep fear of rejection. Then that fear creates a scarcity mindset, this idea that there are only so many deals to go around. So what do? You set these tiny, safe goals to avoid failure, and then you overanalyze every single little detail until you're completely stuck in analysis paralysis. Does any of that sound familiar? And here's the bottom line. Slow sales, they're almost never just a skill problem. They are almost always the direct, unavoidable result of a mindset that's anchored in limitation and in fear. Your internal world is literally creating your external results. So let's just pause for a second. I want you to be really honest with yourself. Looking back at that cycle we just talked about, did any of that hit home? Is this the thought pattern that's been holding you back? Okay, enough about the problem. This right here is the turning point. Let's talk about the solution, making the great mental shift, moving from limitation to total liberation. And this chart just illustrates it perfectly. See? It's not about becoming some totally different person. It's about asking a different question. Slow thinking asks, can I do it? Which is a question that's just dripping with doubt. But big thinking asks, how can I do it? And that question is all about possibility. It's the shift from seeing problems to seeing puzzles, from running away from risk to managing it, from craving comfort to actively chasing growth. And when you finally make that mental shift, I promise you, the results have no choice but to follow. Because big thinking, it directly absolutely translates to big sales. The size of your ambition determines the size of your outcome. Period. But hey, this isn't just about feeling hyped up for a few minutes. This is about strategy. So let's get practical. Here's your toolkit for actually activating this big thinking mindset every single day. This is your action plan. It's simple. First, you have to reframe your questions. Make it non-negotiable. Every time you catch yourself asking, can I? You stop and you force yourself to ask, how can I? It literally rewires your brain to look for solutions. Second, go looking for bigger problems. The person selling a citywide software system makes exponentially more than the one selling one license. Why? Because they're solving a way bigger, more valuable problem. And finally, and this is huge, audit your circle. Your mindset is contagious. If you're surrounded by small thinkers, their limits are going to become your limits. You've got to get in rooms with people whose goals actually intimidate you a little bit. So what happens when you really commit to this stuff? What are the actual results when your thoughts start turning into triumphs? Listen, we're not talking about a little 10% increase here. We're talking about 10x potential, a total transformation. This is the difference between closing a 5-figure deal and a 7-figure deal. It's going from being a regional player to a national leader. You're not just making tiny improvements, you're swapping out the entire operating system of your mind, and that unlocks levels of ambition you never even knew you had. Seriously, let this sink in. This sentence is the whole deal right here. Just look at your current results. They are a perfect mirror, reflecting back the size of your thinking. If you want to change what you see in the mirror, you don't polish the glass. You change the person standing in front of it. You change your thoughts. So, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Don't just let this be some interesting idea you heard. Make it a decision. What is that one big, crazy thought you've been avoiding? The one you keep telling yourself is impossible. I want you to identify it. And then I want you to go figure out how you can make it happen, starting today.